Automotive expert Mike Caudill. Mike, thanks for being with us. All right, so we've heard people's opinions. We've heard the numbers from the government. I look at this and I just don't think it's workable. We don't have the infrastructure. It's going to cost way more money than the administration wants to admit. How do you read what the administration is proposing? Can it be done at all?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on, guys. Let me tell you right now, it's insanity, right? So what the White House is trying to push with electric vehicles is it's not going to be a stable proposition for consumers in the market. The hard part about all of this is that you're forcing consumers into electric vehicles when they don't want it, right? The auto industry is divided up. This topic is divided up into three different categories: the car itself, the infrastructure, and then the consumer. The most important, obviously, as Madison was saying a minute ago, is the consumer. They don't really want electric vehicles unless you are in that small percentile of the market, which is noted as about 4 to 5% of people buying electric vehicles right now. But here's how I want to divide it up, and I want consumers at home to kind of digest this part. The cars themselves that the automakers are making, they're awesome. They're a lot of fun. I'm test driving the Ford Lightning right now. It's fast, it's cool, it's quiet. But the hard part is the infrastructure. Where do you charge? 65% of Americans, they have homes. They can charge in their home. But what about that other 35%? And we haven't even started the discussion on where do the batteries end up in 8 to 10 years from now, right? Where is the lithium coming from? We're talking China. There's so much into this discussion. We're barely even touching on it right now.
Can we go to China? Talk to us about just the dirtiness or not of this supply chain, and if it's really solving our goals, if the goal is to help the environment.
Right. So let me tell you, here's some facts on the whole lithium part of the market, right? The #1 producer of lithium in the world is actually Australia. They produce 52%, and then China and Chile actually come in at #2. But here's the scariest part about all of it. That is 70% of the supply chain itself is dictated and run through China. So that means if they cut it off, we're done. We've got nowhere to go. And the hardest part about all of this is lithium is what is preferred with automakers for battery chemistry. 8 to 10 years from now, we're going to start running out of lithium. We're going to have nowhere to turn.
Mike, Wall Street Journal headline essentially saying that Biden's EPA remakes the auto industry, right? And that's what's happening here. This is an EPA that is deciding who lives and who dies within the business, forcing these, regulations on businesses as well. This is not free market capitalism anymore. They're not necessarily nationalizing the auto industry, but they certainly have a very, very tight grip on it if this proceeds forward.
They do, and I'll throw an interesting number at you, and this is on Toyota's website. They're the last to market when it comes to electric, and they're very smart in how they are looking to roll this out. Toyota has said for every 1 electric vehicle they make, they can produce 66 hybrid vehicles. So if your concern is really CO2 and the environment, just build hybrid vehicles. They all get more than majority get more than 50 miles per gallon. What's happening is the White House is using one of the #1 staples in our economy to weaponize it. And that's what they're doing right now. They're weaponizing EVs. Automakers are now too far into the mix on this, investing. Just over here in Memphis, Ford's built out what they call Ford Blue Oval City. It's their entire electric manufacturing facility. So we're so far into this, we are going to go electric, whether we like it or not. But here's the good news, is that a new administration, let's just say it's a DeSantis, it could be anyone, they can come in and within that first week start changing things.
Mike, we need data and facts on this. You brought it. Thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it.